taking over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible, hanging out the bad seed, the broken, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake-it-up should do be. Along with the Tutty and Tater King himself, the founder of the ILC podcast, the right shoulder of the sheet of integrity, the golf guru. Carver High this afternoon, lady. Frank the Tank running it with Luke. I am your father. The rundown on a Misery Monday. We got a double shot with Morency from British Columbia this very hour. A double shot with Coach James Young, our hoop analyst, in the second hour. And then in the coup de grace, the third hour, a double shot with Adam Kaplan, our NFL insider. Sick as a dog, Carver High over here. Dealing with it. Friday it started. Saturday it started increasing. Sunday got back. Monday the plateau, where I have hit a wall. And I'm dealing with coughing and sneezing, and I can't breathe, and I'm miserable. My daughter has it too. 34C will be next up. It's just ruined my weekend, other than hitting a lot of bets. What was it, Friday night? Hit all 6 playoff games and the Oilers puck line and the over. And then on Saturday, I hit the Sens upset and the Dubs. I laid the 3, remember, with the young gun going to the game. He went to the walk-off Giants win on Saturday, 3-2. Then they went to the chase and saw Curry drop 36 in the playoff game. What a day for him, as I was blowing my nose all weekend.
Yeah, that's quite the finish. You got to go to at Oracle, right? The Little League homer to end the game on Sunday. That was just a great walk-off for the Giants with Elliot Ramos getting the Little League home run to finish things off. Quite the weekend indeed. Happy Monday here on Coast to Coast as we turn the corner on a Monday now in all of these playoff series in the NBA and the Stanley Cup playoffs. We're starting to get rid of teams. We've got one team out. Obviously, the Thunder swept the Grizz. And now we're starting to get a lot of 3-1s, especially in the basketball and in the Eastern Conference of the Stanley Cup. So over the next few days, we've got some big Game 5, 6s, and 7s, and then a couple series that are going to be ending. Let me start with you with the basketball, and we'll do Sunday first, because obviously we had one classic Saturday, which was the Nugget Clipper game. Was ridiculous with Gordon getting that bucket with no time left.
Disaster.
That series now tied 2-2. But you had the Knicks and the Pistons. Every game's been great in that series. Every game has had some kind of controversy at the end when it comes to the officials. And then you had the T-Wolf Laker game, which was awesome in the afternoon too.
Well, I thought the Lakers ran out of gas, and J.J. Redick, I guess, asked for it. He played the same 5 guys for the entire second half. Obviously, he has no faith in his depth or bench. And they didn't get it done. They even had the 3-ball in the corner pocket chance at the end to tie it, send it to overtime. I agree with anyone that thinks that they wouldn't have won in overtime. They were already having problems. They blew multiple 10-point leads in that game and lost the game. And remember, we said going into it that the T-Wolves were going to win the series. And I think they are going to win the series one way or the other. They're either going to go do it in Los Angeles at the Crypt in this Game 5 coming up, or they're going to get it done at home at the Target in Game 6. I thought the Clipper-Nugget game was phenomenal. What a comeback by the Clippers late in the game in the fourth, only to lose on an air ball by the Joker that Gordon dunked at the buzzer. And it was just absolutely unbelievable. As for the Knicks, they won on Friday night. And then they won yesterday, and obviously they missed the call, and obviously Hart fouled him They didn't call it after the game. They admitted they screwed it up. And as they say in the south of France, you lose.
Yeah, you lose. I think that's the appropriate thing to say. And I think that most of the hot takes that I've seen about this game are honestly true, and I agree with. They didn't call anything the whole game.
The whole game.
Honestly. Like, the refs really did let the Knicks and the Pistons, they let them go. So if you like the consistency of them not calling anything the entire day,
yeah,
then you can't have a problem with them not calling anything at the end of it as well. They stuck to what they did for the entire 48 minutes.
I agree with that. That was the end. And then, obviously Detroit on the short end of it, they want to complain and they want to gripe. And fair enough. But the reality is they would have done the exact same thing if it happened to them. It would have been the exact same thing. If the Knicks had the call against them and the Pistons won the game, they would have been like, it is what it is. The cookie crumbles. So they didn't call jack the whole game. It was a violent game, and the Knicks won. And that's just all there is to it. And you know what? They haven't won a home game since 2008 in the playoffs. Yeah. That is embarrassing. I mean, it really is at the end of the day. They acted like that place was so jumping, which it was. It was lit. But when you don't win, how jumping is it? Because they got all mad and angry and screaming and yelling and all this other stuff, and all the former players were there and all the rest. And as they say in the south of France, you lose.
You lose. That's just how it goes. And then, of course, late last night, both the Celtics and the Pacers went up 3-1. They're going to win their series.
Those series are over.
Those series are over. Now, on the hockey side,
you got both of those right, too.
Got both of those.
Get the Knicks right, too.
You can get the Knicks right also. Although I got a feeling that the Pistons might do what the Sixers did last year, which was win a Game 5 down 3-1 at the Garden and maybe force the Knicks to have to play one more game. I think that the Pistons they've been tough in this series. They've been right there at the end of these games. I expect this next game tomorrow night to be just as close between the Knicks and the Pistons down to the finish.
I can't have it.
You can't have it. Get it done with. You want it over with. Enough.
I can't have it for my own health and sanity. I'm not having it. I need the Knicks to finish off the Pistons tomorrow night at the Garden, whatever it is. Just get it over with. Win the game on your floor and be done with it.
As far as the hockey goes, on the east side of things, you got 3-1 with Carolina, 3-1 with Washington, 3-1 with Toronto. But how about the West? All four series in the West are 2-2 heading to Game 5s. After Edmonton won an OT last night, you, of course, had St. Louis win both games there against Winnipeg. 4 3-game series left in the West. Going to be fun this week.
So yesterday, I bet heavily on the Blues and was laughing all the way to the bank, 5-1. Then I bet on the LA Kings at plus $1.15. You're up 1-0. You're up 2-0. You're up 3-1 going into the third period. You give up a goal with 28 seconds left, and then 18 minutes into overtime, you lose on a Draisaitl. That was the worst beat I've had in a while. Sitting on top of that money, and that was a done deal, and you blow that game. That was embarrassing. Like, I sent you the clips of the coach, and he's ready to blame anybody but himself or anybody else.
That clip, which I had already had in the holster for today, you know who he's going back and forth with in that clip? Elvis.
Denny?
That's Denny going back and forth with Hiller in that clip about why are you guys blowing leads? What are you going to do to change things late in the third? That's Elvis going back and forth with Hiller at the end of that game.
One of the things that I'll say real quick is that they can't win in Edmonton. I mean, they were up both games, and they blew both games. Game 1, they were up 4 goals at home, and they won 6-5. They cannot hold a lead against the Edmonton Oilers. That's why I've told you from the jump, a month and a half before, 2 months before the playoffs, that the Edmonton Oilers were going to go back to the Stanley Cup final and win the cup. I think they're going to beat the Kings again for a 4th straight year. They're the kryptonite for the LA Kings. They just can't finish them off.
cannot shoot 2 of 17 from 3 and think you're beating Steph and Jimmy Buckets, a.k.a. Playoff Jimmy, Playoff him, Himmy, whatever you want to call him. You can't shoot that bad and compete in the playoffs versus the Warriors. SGA wasn't even that good. You want to talk about non-competitive series? People want to talk about getting rid of play-in. Maybe we need to get rid of the 8 seed because this 8 seed got their ass.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did games. Yeah. You did Dr. J games.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You can catch Sports Rage weeknights at 10 on all of our TV and radio outlets, and you get Morency with a double shot here from Vancouver every day on Coast to Coast. So I want to start with that. You just heard us talking about Mike Sullivan. The Penguins let him go today, and after 10 years and Stanley Cups, multiple, they let him go. I don't care what stories are out there about he asked for certain things from the ownership group, and then there's other stories that he and Dubas were fine. I just thought it was time to move on. I don't know if I buy all of that on either side of that. All I know is the minute that guy is available, like, the Bruins are going to hire him in 2 seconds, if not the Rangers. Isn't he from Boston? Like, that's where he's from, his whole family, everything. I think he's going to get a job there before he can spit.
Well, first things first, good to see you, Scott, but it's kind of a prerequisite. Once you get hired in the National Hockey League as a coach, you will be rehired 5 times after the fact. So, like, there's no league in which recycles coaches more than the National Hockey League. But, yeah, truth be told, Scott, they set him free. It's like a get-out-of-jail card here, right? I mean, the Pittsburgh Penguins are a complete disaster. This franchise has been spinning its wheels. Right. They're fortunate that Sidney Crosby is loyal to them and doesn't say, you know what, I'm out. I'm going to go end my career with my buddy Nate in Denver or whatever. I'm going to go play for the Montreal Canadiens that I grew up a fan of, or anywhere, basically, besides Pittsburgh. And I tell you what, this goes to Dubas. This goes to Kyle Dubas. Dubas, guys, he was like one of these analytic dudes. Not really any hockey experience, Scott. One of these sort of like analytics, a head of analytics, boy wonder. They wanted to make him into a Theo Epstein type, right?
Whatever,
you know, he's one of those Alex Anthopoulos. Yeah, but if you look, the Toronto Maple Leafs spun their wheels, and he had unlimited funds with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He goes to the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I don't know, it's like, unless he's like a spy for the New York Rangers or the Flyers and trying to dismantle the Penguin organization, Scott, he's doing a pretty good job at that, right? I mean, what are they doing? They trade players. They don't bring players in. Like, They're really in nowhere's land, this team right now. So long story short, they did the coach a favor, to be honest. And if you're a Penguins fan, there's going to be years and years and years of misery to come.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, it's just like getting kicked in the onions. Like, I'm just like, I saw the story. I was like, what? Why would you fire him? Like, this is as bad as the Islanders firing Barry Trotz. If you ask me, I don't care if they set him free, fired him, made love to him, gave him a dog.
Yeah, but Scott,
he's gone.
But also, Sullivan can only take it so long. Behind the scenes, very similar to Malone in Denver, right? Complaining. At some point, the GM's going to say, well, this is the freaking roster, bro. You got to deal with it. And, it's like the movie Major Leagues. It was ugly behind the scenes there. I mean, let's be real. I mean, you gave Sullivan, you can't make the playoffs. The NHL is really hard too, guys, to like get good when you're bad. Like it takes years and years and years. like it really does. Like you grew up, man, you knew the Penguins were freaking terrible. Like, I remember I used to go see the Penguins games when I was a kid against the Canadians, and I'd be like, God damn, it's the Penguins. Same with the Capitals. I was like, oh God, I got to see the Capitals again. And then, Mario saved them. Right, Mario saved them, and then you got Sidney Crosby, very similar to the Cowher Tomlin, Scott. This natural torch that ate up 20, 25 years, 30 years of time. That's over now, bro. It's coming to an end right now.
All right, so last night I wanted to puke. I had the Kings plus money up 1-0, up 2-0, up 3-1, and they lose that game in Edmonton. Now I have said to you on a million occasions, I like the Oilers to go to the Cup final again and win the Cup. And I just, for some reason, like after last night, what I saw, the Kings can't beat them.
Well, that's the feeling right now amongst a lot in the Los Angeles media. LA King fans want to fire the coach. Like right now, the series isn't over yet. The media challenged him after. Are you going to do anything different going into third periods moving forward in this series? And he's like, what do you mean by that? Like, they were like, well, you're blowing leads. He's like, next question. And they did just miss an empty netter. That's the thing, man, with these NHL players, bro. Like, when you get that empty netter, you got to bury it. And well, I'm sure we'll talk about Washington. Washington are good at burying empty net goals, and they did.
They just buried them.
Yeah, and then Martin St. Louis pulled the Canadiens goaltender way too early. But
way too early.
As far as the Kings and the Oilers are concerned, we got a series now. I think this thing is going to reset, Scott. I think home ice advantage is going to hold true in this series. I think I told you that last week. I'm expecting this. I picked the Kings in 7 before the series started, and it's like plus 700 type thing too. So it pays really well. So, it's falling right in line. The Kings don't lose at home. Right? The Kings are a dominant home team. I'm expecting the Kings to hold serve in the next game, and then I think the Oilers probably win game 6, Scott, and then we're going to 7. I think this is, we got a best of 2 or 3 here. I think we're going 7.
You don't think that there's something to the fact that they blow all these leads against the Edmonton Oilers? It's like the Oilers can be down 4 goals and they come back like it's nothing.
Yeah, but the Oilers also give up a bunch of goals. That's the thing. It's like, with the Oilers, you're like, damn, if you guys didn't spot teams like a 3 and 4 goal lead every night, you guys would be really good. But, the Oilers have a lot of flaws as well. When we played 4 games, I expected this series to go 7. It's 2-2. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. There's going to be heartbreaks. And here we are right now. The playoffs, Scott, a lot of it is about puck luck and stuff. But let's be real. A lot of it is mental toughness and resiliency. And we're going to find out just how tough the LA Kings are, because this will be terrible for them if they lose this series. And they had a chance to go up before, 2 years ago, Scott. They had a chance to go up 3-1 on Edmonton. Similar situation. They ended up losing the game, and they ended up losing a series. So definitely they've been down this road before, but I don't think the sky's fallen yet on the Kings.
God, I felt like it was when I watched that game last night. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I was sitting on top of money, and then they blew that. It was embarrassing. It was so disgusting. It made me sick to my stomach. We'll talk about the other series and what's going on tonight with Moritz.
cannot shoot 2 of 17 from 3 and think you're beating Steph and Jimmy Buckets, a.k.a. Playoff Jimmy, Playoff him, Himmy, whatever you want to call him. You can't shoot that bad and compete in the playoffs versus the Warriors. SGA wasn't even that good. You want to talk about non-competitive series? People want to talk about getting rid of play-in. Maybe we need to get rid of the 8 seed because this 8 seed got their ass kicked.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats, typically in your direction, if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did Ames. You did Dr. J games.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I don't know what the deal is around here, Marinci. You were sick. You had a cold and a cough, and then I got it. My daughter has it. I mean, it's just like, and it's like the spring. I don't even get it. Like, should I have this in the middle of winter or something when it's snowing and blowing and freezing ass? Like, why am I? It's 75 degrees outside, and I'm sicker than a dog in heat.
Might be the rums catching up. The immune system, Scott, might be weakened.
I didn't say I stopped drinking rum when I got sick. I still cut through it with rum.
That'll help more than that. It's better than cough syrup.
That's what 34C said. You're still drinking? I'm like, shut up. God damn, I'm over here.
Probably not helping.
I had so many games going that I was losing my mind. So I want to first ask you about, do you think these teams are all toast? Obviously, Montreal toast, Devils toast. What do you think happens with the Blues? Because I think the Blues really, humiliated the Jets. And something's wrong with Connor Hellebuck as far as I'm concerned. And that backup goalie's dead meat.
It's unbelievable, Connor Hellebuck, guys. And I'll get you the exact numbers.
He's an awful playoff goalie.
Scott, he's 1-8 in his last 9 road games in the playoffs. 1-8.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
And he's been pulled in 3 of the games. Like, he gets absolutely lit up. And the Blues, listen, the Blues are streaky. And Hellebuck, last 9 road playoff games, 1-8, goals against average, 4.58, save percentage, 86% only, 861 goaltenders, guys. You end up in East Coast Hockey League. Right? You know what I mean? That's bad. Like, he's not giving him a chance to win hockey games. He's been pulled in 3 straight road playoff starts right now, Connor Hellebuck. Going back to last year, so 2 this year. Listen, I thought the Jets were poised for a deep run this year, but I didn't want to buy into the narrative, the Hellebuck, this and all that. And it's not just him, but listen, this is another series, Scott. We thought coming into the playoffs, which were the teams, like where were the upsets? Who could play with who? The Blues can play with the Jets. The Blues were one of the hottest teams in the league, right? And they say since the Four Nations. They did lose 4 of the last 5, but whatever, going into the playoffs.
They haven't lost at home in like forever.
Yeah, and they're streaky, Scott, as we see. right? The Blues can lose 4 or 5 in a row. They can bang off 10 in a row. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when things are going well for the Blues, things are going well for them. But with that being stated, here's another 7-game series, Scott. I think we're going. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets dialed it up here right now. But it feels like this one is going 7. The Avs and the Stars has been strange. It's been very NBA-ish, hasn't it? Like, if you look, most of the games in the NHL playoffs, only a few of the series has been competitive. Like, the Canadiens have been really good with the Capitals, and the Kings and Oilers have been really good. But the other games are very NBA-ish, where one team blows the other team out, and then the next game, the other team blows the other team out, and they're not close, right? Like, very one-sided. We've seen this in the Florida series. We're seeing it in Colorado. I think this is the bounce back now for the Avs. I got the Avs in 6. I think this is where they tighten it up. They pull it out. They shouldn't be minus 140 road favorites, but they are.
In Dallas.
Yeah, I'm going to take the road team here. I'm going to at some point.
What about Florida and Sunrise tonight? They got their ass beat in that game 5-1 on Saturday, whatever it was.
This is Bizarro World where they both win on each other's home ice all the time. Like, Tampa can't beat Florida in Tampa, but they beat them in Florida. It's Bizarro World. I'm expecting the Lightning to win again tonight, Scott. I think not all these series is going to be over in 5. The Devils is done. The Devils will win tomorrow. The Devils are going to wrap that up. The Canadians could pull a
Carolina's going to finish off.
The Devils are done. Yeah. So Carolina's going to beat them. I got that in 5, so I'm hoping to cash that at plus 270 before the series started. But yeah, give me both teams tonight. So I'm going with the road teams tonight. Both road teams: Tampa Bay Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche.
All right, who do you like in the? Does Cleveland sweep Miami tonight in Miami? And who do you like? Golden State. They covered the 3 on Saturday. My son went to the game to watch Curry have that 36 burger.
Yeah, great atmosphere there. Looks like Jimmy B's going to be back tonight, right? At least that's the expectation. I'm going to go with the Warriors tonight, Scott. Remember we talked last week about liking the Heat and the Cavs games to go over. We cashed that bet with you, and then over the weekend it landed right on the number. We're going to go right back to it again tonight. I think it goes over the 211.5, and to be honest, I think the Cavaliers are going to wrap it up and finish them off.
All right, great stuff, Morency. Have a good show tonight.
New to casinos and not sure what to play? Well, try blackjack first. It has a lower house advantage compared to other table games, making it especially player-friendly. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did games. Yeah. You did Dr. J games.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If you're going to trade Durant, right, it means things are getting weird anyway. Teams are going to, before they go for Durant, they're going to go for Devin Booker. That's just the reality of it.
You get rid of Durant, or do you do the crazy one? Because you're so far out of the West, do you get rid of Booker? Because D-Book will bring you far more in a return.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
know we're gonna hit the NBA now, Mike, but I gotta tell you, every time I see another story come across about Mike Sullivan, I get sick to my stomach. I really do, because I just want to say one last thing about it. Like, this clown, this loser tool nerd dork, Dubas. Who in God's name is he going to replace a legendary coach? This is worse than Trotz. How do you replace Mike Sullivan in Pittsburgh? With who? In what world is he not going to F this up nice and juicy like a Baconator? I mean, this guy is the icing on the cake now. He's done nothing well in Pittsburgh. Nothing at all. In fact, his deals for Malkin and Letang are an abortion. And now this. It's embarrassing. I could do it better drunk. And Mario knows it. I cannot believe that kid is in charge of the Pittsburgh Penguins. As Morency said it best, he might be doing this on purpose. This guy might be in there doing this on purpose. Like, he just one stupid move after the next.
Look, there is a little part of me that, thinking about Sullivan, if Dubas came to him and was like, listen, and the Fenway people were like, listen, I know we still got Sid and all, but we're going to start the wheels of like really starting this thing over. We're going to be, ripping things down, and we're going to try to rebuild and do all that. We played that clip a couple weeks ago of him talking about rebuilding the team.
Good luck.
It wouldn't stun me if Sullivan, with some of these other higher profile jobs out there, like the Rangers and the Bruins, for him to be like, listen, maybe we should cut the cord here. I don't want to do a rebuild. I've won 2 cups. I want to try win another one before I'm done. It wouldn't stun me if Sully wanted out, if they told him they were going to rip the whole thing down. That wouldn't
Let me ask you this. So here's the way I see it. You strip that thing down, as you call it, studs and bolts or whatever. Let me tell you what's going to happen to that fancy PPG arena that you fill up every night. It's going to be half full. No one's going to go. Because when they lost back in the 80s, nobody went to the Igloo. Nobody went to the games. No one was paying. Do you know how much money it costs to go to a Penguin game? I mean, decent seats, 2 of them are $300. Those are decent. Those are decent seats. I'm not even talking good seats. Like, bad seats are $100. So no way are people going to pay that money in this economy to go watch that crappy shack team that never wins. And don't tell me they're just going to pay $100 to go watch Sidney Crosby. You know what? They've already done that and won 3 Stanley Cups with him. Been there, done that. Thanks so much. They won't even watch on television. And while I'm at it, I've said this before, I'll say it again. They got crappy announcers too. I mean, they have turned that thing into the biggest joke money can buy. Mike Lang is turning in his grave. I could call games there better on a bottle of tequila than those boring-ass stiffs they got calling their games and that loser hat kid GM. And now no one's going to go to that arena. Trust me, next year, we're going to be talking about this, and I'm going to make fun of them until no end when that place is half full every night. Watch.
Yeah, it's one of the things people don't understand about it. Like, we're the fans. Unless you are, the Rangers, the Red Wings, the Bruins, these teams, yes, they sell out every night, whether the team's good or bad. They're original 6 teams. They're all everywhere else in hockey. If the team isn't good, people aren't there. Now, they got the same problem on Long Island right now. They built a new arena 3 years ago. This year, second half of the year, it was empty. Why are no one going to Islander games? Because since the Islanders were brought into creation, if the team isn't good, people don't go. That was
right.
In the 80s. In the 80s, everyone was there because they were the best team in hockey. When the team is good, people are there, whether they're playing in the dump or they're playing in the Shangri-La. Right. It doesn't make a difference. Just because you're in a fancy new building doesn't mean people are going to spend $125 to go sit and watch a mediocre to less hockey team. So it doesn't matter.
It's a $500 3-hour excursion. You go there, it's $300 for seats, it's $200 for drinks and food. It's $500 to watch them lose. I have gone to see them play 20 times, and it's always full. Those days are over. It's over. If they're stripping it down and then they get rid of Sullivan, get ready to lose money. They are going to lose money hand over fist as a franchise. I guarantee it. In fact, I got to get a hold of Lemieux myself and tell him. Somebody has to tell him
know.
to stop the bleeding.
Mario know.
I saw him at the airport. Believe me, we talked. I told him, I could do it better high and drunk than these stiffs you got calling the games. They're so bad, I don't even know their names. And they've gone through like 5 of them. They've had every other person try that seat, and they can't do it. You can't replace Mike Lang. Only Ferrall.
No.
I could do it. Not only that, I could do better than Kyle Dubas. He's a giant P. He is a giant P. That's what he is. Kitty cat. My man, don't get me started. I got a fever already.
Let's go. Let's rip through some of this NBA from yesterday and the weekend. The Knicks beat the Pistons 94-93. They now lead the series 3-1. Down the stretch, how about Karl Anthony Towns? He hit some massive shots in the final couple minutes of this game for the Knicks. ABC, ESPN.
Towns with 4 to shoot. Driving on Durant. Fall away. Oh, my goodness. How did Towns make that? Falling out of bounds. Puts it on the floor. Shot clock at 8. Towns. Long 3 from Towns. Oh, my. Karl Anthony Towns gives the Knicks the lead. Some huge catch shots down the stretch.
That was a great deep 3 from like 28 feet. I got to tell you, I thought the one on the baseline was better. That's my favorite shot, that over the glass job. Standing on the baseline, out of bounds, flick it up over the glass, and it's all splash. That was sick, too. You can say whatever you want about the refs, because you're right. They screwed it up. But the Knicks still made all the buckets and won the game. They hit all the shots.
Yep.
And guess what? I thought Cade Cunningham was unbelievable. 25, 10, and 10 to trip dub. You lose. When you have a triple double and you lose, it doesn't matter. Here's another thing. He had multiple turnovers, and he missed his last 2 big shots of the game when it mattered most. So I thought he was phenomenal, except when it mattered.
I actually thought, and look, when you get your shot, you get your shot, I suppose. That shot he took coming out of that last sequence, I thought why not get the clock down a little bit more? I mean, you could have played for the last shot, win the game, end of story. He shot that ball from the elbow, like 8-9 seconds left. He makes that. And the Knicks, going to call timeout, move the ball up to the other end, and probably win the game. So I thought he was a little too quick with the shot. But you get it. Hart had 14, 10, and 5. Cat 27 and 9. Brunson had 32 and 11. He's got 30 plus in every game. Brunson in this series, and I'll tell you what, he's good at this too. We talk about Mahomes all the time. How you think he's hurt, and Brunson's another one. He goes down, people think he's finished, and then he goes to the locker room. He comes back 4 minutes later, and he drops another 6 buckets.
Can you spell Toradol? He didn't feel anything after they stuck that 8-incher right into his ankle.
This series, of course, somehow this always finds the Knicks, has had more belly aching from the coaches about the refs than any other series. And when we'll come back, we'll start with JB Bickerstaff. Of course, it was his turn to bellyache about the refs at the end, especially since they missed that play with Hardaway and Hart in the corner as time was expiring. So we'll hear from JB and then do the Lakers and the Wolves.
Listen, let me say this. That's fair enough. Have at it. Cry all you want and complain all you want. But there's no one that can hold a candle to the Celtics and the Magic who complain about every single whistle the entire series. Every single call is, check it. It's wrong, check it.
New to casinos and not sure what to play? Well, try blackjack first. It has a lower house advantage compared to other table games, making it especially player-friendly. Now, go get lucky. Let's get lucky.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did games. You did Dr. J games.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If you're going to trade Durant, right, it means things are getting weird anyway. Teams are going to, before they go for Durant, they're going to go for Devin Booker. That's just the reality of it.
You get rid of Durant, or do you do the crazy one? Because you're so far out of the West, do you get rid of Booker? Because D-Book will bring you far more in a return.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
So I get it. This is to be expected that Bickerstaff's livid. What he should be livid at is that his players aren't knocking down shots when it matters. They hit all the shots when it doesn't matter. I mean, what shot didn't they hit in that game? But when it was money time, crunch time, the guy that won the Crunch Player of the Year, Brunson went off. After his injury at 15, Towns hit all the deep shots and that crunch shot behind the glass on the baseline. They hit all their shots, and the Pistons didn't. Blame that. It's too easy to blame the refs because the refs missed just as many calls on the Pistons against the Knicks as they did the other way. It was the same thing.
You were at home with an 11-point lead with 8.5 minutes left in the game. An 11-point lead with 8.5 minutes left in the game, and you didn't finish the job. That's got nothing to do with refs. That's just not closing. That's all that is. It's just not closing. And it sounds to me, listening to him here, he's got a bigger problem. He thought more fouls should have been called on, I guess, again, he wants Cade Cunningham to shoot 75 free throws every game. It sounds like that's his bigger problem than that play in the corner.
Again, they do let you play more physical. Some people get to play more physical. I'll say that. I think these past couple games, it's kind of hard for me to believe, that Cade only gets to the free throw line 4 times. As much as he drives and gets to the paint, it was this game and it was last game. So it's a little surprising, that he doesn't get to the free throw line more. I think sometimes he's refereed different because he's a big guard, and they treat him a little bit differently. But, as much as he drives, he should get more of those whistles. But there is more physicality. There is more grabbing, holding, and all that. And again, we are fine with that, right? We like to play physical. We like that style of basketball. You won't hear us whining about it, but
again,
there is just more contact that's allowed.
I mean, this guy's a bitch. Honestly, I'm sick of hearing it. Shut up. Like, whatever, dude. Honestly, we don't like to complain, except that's what you're doing right now. Honestly, bro. Cry me a river.
He's literally complaining in that clip, but we're not going to complain about it. He says, we're not going to complain about it. Knicks are big favorites.
That's all he does, dude. The entire game is complain to the refs on the sideline. The whole game. He does it the whole game.
That's all he does. And did you see him?
So
he looked like he was gonna hit the ref after the Hardaway play.
I thought he was gonna hit him.
I mean, he ran out in the court. A couple guys grabbed a hold of him. Like, calm down. Honestly, they will play game number 5 in the Garden in this series tomorrow night. 7:30 East tip as the Knicks will try to finish off the Pacers in round number 1. Also yesterday, More somewhat controversy, you could say, at the end of the Timberwolves win over the Lakers, 116 to 113. Let me at least peel it back.
There was no controversy. He fouled him. He said his hand was on the ball, but it wasn't.
Right.
He slapped his wrist.
As he's going to tell you in a moment, I'll get to him in a minute, that the hand is part of the ball. He's going to tell you. The hand is part of the ball. So they had stopped that. They thought, the refs, of course, called it out of bounds off of Edwards. They go and review it, ends up being a foul on LeBron. Edwards hits 2 free throws to put the Wolves up 3. Final play now, ABC, ESPN.
Luka to come up on that left side, maybe a slip out by LeBron or Austin.
Edwards, clutch free throws. 3-point game. No timeouts for the Lakers. Reed guarding. Doncic looking. James, corner, Reeves, three-pointer. No good. Rebound McDaniels. It's over. The T-Wolves go up 3-1 in the series.
You know, they're just better than the Lakers. How's that?
I agree. They are just better, top to bottom. And I think that you're seeing, you know, you need to have those 6th, 7th, 8th guys, 9th guys off the bench. I never saw anything, and they had some stat the last time it happened. It was like 40 years ago. A guy not make a sub the entire second half of an NBA playoff game. Didn't take anyone out. Played the same 5 guys the entire second. And this is them coming off the one guy, Luka, who's great, but all they did was tell you for 48 hours how sick he was. And he didn't come out at all in the second half of the game. Here's the LeBron talking about the foul that they ended up changing after looking at it at the monitor that he fouled Edwards.
That play happens all the time. You know, hand is part of the ball. That's what they say. And, I feel like the hand was a part of that ball. I was able to get his hand on top of the ball stripped down and out on him. So I've seen that play over and over before, but it is what it is.
No, it is what it is.
He hit his wrist.
Yeah, it kind of looked like a little chop down where
he wasn't on his hand at all. Literally on his wrist. It might as well have been a wristwatch. And let me tell you something else.
He ended there, but he hit his wrist first.
Listen, he's a great player. We all know he's going to go down in history. And this is what happens at the end. This is what happens when you're 40 and you're not winning anymore. He's not winning anymore. He doesn't win anymore. He won in 20 in the COVID year in that bubble, which was a joke. So you're lucky they even gave you that phony-ass title. But they did anyway with no fans. So what has he done since? Nothing. What's he going to do this year? Nothing. Nothing at all. I don't deny he still comes up big, blocking shots, can still fill it up, can still score. But he's not winning anymore. Those days are over. It's over. We said before the series the T-Wolves are better. They are better. They're going to finish them off one way or the other. Whether it's in L.A. or whether it's at the Target, they're going to win the series. You know why?
I agree.
Because they're so deep and because they have no answer at all for Ant Edwards. None.
Ant has taken over. He had 43 in that game yesterday. He was outstanding in it. They're going to win this series. The question is, are they going to win it in LA in 5 or win it at home in 6? That's kind of where.
And at worst, I'll bet my life that they win it in 7 if they have to go back there. They'll still win.
I would find it very difficult, seeing what I saw in the first 4 games, that they would lose 3 in a row to the Lakers.
Yeah,
I would bet that would be very difficult for me to fathom. I'll quickly play you Ant when we come back too, and then we'll talk about the Celtics and the Pacers quickly and their dominant wins. So not so much dominant, but they both get their wins. Dominant series leads.
That's so over. It's not even funny. That's over even if Dame doesn't tear his Achilles. It's over either way.
New to casinos and not sure what to play? Well, try blackjack first. It has a lower house advantage compared to other table games, making it especially player-friendly. Now, go get lucky. Let's get lucky.
The game is on. Stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We know your other brother Marv did the Knicks forever, but you've done just about every team in the league. You did Ames. Yeah. You did Dr. J games.
But after 45 years in this crazy business, people kept telling me, you got to write a book. So I did, and here it is.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If you're going to trade Durant, right, it means things are getting weird anyway. Teams are going to, before they go for Durant, they're going to go for Devin Booker. That's just the reality of it.
You get rid of Durant, or do you do the crazy one? Because you're so far out of the West, do you get rid of Booker? Because D-Book will bring you far more in a return.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
We do have a Brian Dayball going on today. One game in the afternoon about to start in a few minutes in D.C.
Yeah, about 10 minutes from now, final game of a 4-game series, the Monday wraparound game for the Mets and the Nationals in D.C. Griffin Canning and Trevor Williams. Nats have won 2 of these 3 games so far, a couple walk-offs. Yesterday they had a walk-off win. Friday night they had a walk-off win. The Mets are minus 175 with Canning. Nats plus $1.45 and a 9.5.
God, a 9.5. Everybody thinks it's going over too. I'll do the Mets. I don't like that price. I'm willing to run line it. I think they'll actually get it done at minus 110 by 2 runs. Canning's been good, even though everyone says he sucks.
Yeah, he has been pretty good for the Mets so far. He does suck. He's just he's been good so far. His day will come. For the Mets. Nationals have been spunky. Not just this weekend against the Mets, but really overall. They're 13-15 now.
Right.
They've played okay baseball. All right, last thing from this Laker game is Anthony Edwards. Of course, he came into this series basically telling you he was not going to let LeBron, Luka, the Lakers, etc. Give him the business. And that's precisely what has happened so far. He is not going to allow it.
You and LeBron we saw you laughing together today. You were getting very physical with him, pushing him. What's it been like to go against him, and were you trying to make a point when you wrestled him a little bit there?
Yeah, it's gonna be physical, man. I wouldn't say I was trying to make a point, but just let him know that we here. We ain't just gonna push us around all night. I mean, because I'm not gonna lie, he's strong. It's hard to keep him from, like, he posted me up. He got all the way to the rim. I was glad he missed the layup, but. He a lot stronger than me, but just let him know that we're going to be here all night, and I'm going to be a pest to him. Whenever I get on him, I'm going to try to get up under his skin. I'm going to try. Because, we played together at USA. He was like a big brother to me. He looked out for me, helped me out a lot with reading the game, IQ, and everything. So, just trying to be a pest to him out there.
Yeah, there's no denying his brilliance. I mean, but the thing is, if you ask me, this kid's better than him now. So it is what it is. Times are changing. This kid's he's the now and the future. And LeBron's the past. It's over. They keep talking about this guy all day, every day, 24 hours a day, ESPN and everybody else. They can't stop talking about him. But at the end of the day, people, how about the people in Dallas? What do you think they're going to say when the Lakers go down? After the trade of Luka Doncic, when they got him, everyone said the Lakers were going to win the NBA title. When Butler went to the Warriors, they were winning the NBA title. That's all we've heard over the last month and a half is that those 2 teams are going to go win the NBA title. We just have to flip a coin which one we're going to root for. Yeah, you're not going to root for them, and I think the Rockets are every bit in that series. I think tonight they'll do better than they did on Saturday.
Indeed for that. JJ Redick, we mentioned he didn't make a substitution. I don't need to hear from this crybaby Luka about his fatigue. If you think the Lakers can come back from 3-1 down, plus 385 for the series. Timberwolves -5 Bills.
Not happening. I never thought they were going to win it, ever.
Nope. You and we talked about that right before it started. You and Coach, and you were all in on it that Minnesota was going to give them all they could handle, and they certainly have done that so far in this series.
They were going to beat them.
Yes. Celtics beat the Magic last night, 107-98. They are now up 3-1 in that series. Of course, Tatum did play. The funny thing was, it is over. Tatum had a big night for the Celtics. He had 37. Brown had 21. The Magic, precisely what we said the other day, right, on Friday. They were going to get their one game, which they did, and now they're finished. Now they're going to go home. That's how it goes.
Finished.
You lose. And you could say the same thing about Milwaukee. They're now down 3-1, and they've lost Dame time. They're finished too. They probably won't win.
Let me tell you something. I said to you 1,000 times, the Pacers are loaded. They're deep. They got 2 at every position. They literally have 10 guys that can play, that can beat you. Their second unit can beat you. Forget the first unit. The second unit can beat your ass. They're a massive problem for whoever they play next. Who are they playing next? Cleveland?
They would be, yes. They're on the Cleveland side. They would play Cleveland.
Get ready. Get ready. It's coming. Get ready. It's coming. Because Cleveland's had easy street. No, that party's over now. Playing this team. They're going to be a pain in their ass for 7 games. I like the Pacers.
Yep, 23 for Miles Turner last night. 5 boards, 4 blocks in their win.
Fantasy baseball. Let's be honest, George. There's a lot of things antiquated about this game that we love. Man, like I would love to try some new little wrinkles here. And so for Sam's question here on the show, I think it's at least fair to ask the question with catchers in fantasy baseball. And sometimes we're playing in 2 catcher leagues. Why at this stage of the game? I have no idea. If you're still doing it, you're behind in the times. Buy or sell, catchers should get a fantasy point for throwing out runners trying to steal. So essentially awarding a defensive play to get an offensive point in fantasy. You gonna buy or sell this?
I mean, so this never even crossed my mind. I hate the catcher position because they get hurt so much. You play in a 2 catcher league, I don't know what to tell you. You know, it's like, what are we doing here? There are not 24, assuming a 12-team league, there are not 24 catchers to draft in baseball. It's just not. Although I'm the first person to tell you, Herrera's probably out there in a bunch of leagues there because we didn't see that power coming. Should he get a point? I think if you're going to do this, by the way, why a point? What are you throwing out? 2 base runners a week? It's 2 points. Who cares? You know, should it be more? I mean, if we're going to do this, should we do it right? Should it be 5 points? You know, so I'd probably go that direction. If you're going to do it right. Give it more points. And by the way, then let's go further. You make an error, you're losing points. No one gets an error anymore. All right, if you get an error, it means you really screwed up. I was watching that Yankee-Pittsburgh game yesterday because I think it was, who cares? Somebody hit the ball hard to Isaiah Khalifa at shortstop. He didn't have to move, but he dropped it. They called it a hit because he hit the ball hard with 3-hopper. Oh, hard hit, error. So let's do that too. So yeah, I'm kind of on board with this, but you need more than one. It can't just be a point that's meaningless. You need more than one.
Fantasy Sports Today. Weekends starting at 8 a.m. Only on SportsGrid.